What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm sending you this hand that I really debated about posting for a long time now because honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. It's also a bomb pot, but it's one of those hands that's like kind of like I don't know, gonna be talked about for a while at the casino, I guess, where I'm from. At the that weekend, everyone talked about it, but I don't really know how important it really is. It is kind of ridiculous, but you'll see what actually happens in the hand. Uh, so the first part of the ridiculousness is that it's a bomb pot, and uh, the deal was we all put in 25 pre, and then we go to a flop, which is why I can't sim this. No one could really sim this. I thought about like kind of making up some kind of weird sim where I put like these ranges together and give a guy like give both of them like super wide ranges and stuff, but it really like just doesn't make any sense. And most of this is just me showing the hand and not really uh, needing to understand the strategy behind it because you're not going to get in a spot like this basically ever because it's a bomb pot. And honestly, it sounds nitty, but like you should kind of avoid bomb pots if you like want to actually like, win at poker. They're just nonsense. But they could be fun, and if recreational wants to do it or he'll get mad, then I guess do it. But you should pretty much just play this top of your range here. Uh, I don't know. Needless to say, God, I need a new background for my. Anyways, needless to say, we'll get into the hand. So it's a bomb pot. We go 8 ways to a flop. Everyone put in 25. There's $200 in the pot. I'm actually in this hand, but the hand that we're gonna use is not me. We're gonna use the hero, which I debated which POV I should go from, but it kind of like doesn't matter. Either or, it's just like ridiculous. And um, because I don't really believe in bluffing that much in bomb pots, unless like it's obvious or you're playing against like fish that's just purely out of line. Um, but that's just like how I perceive bomb pots. The players in this hand are two good friends of mine actually that I play poker with all the time. Um, the main villain is a very good player. He's been a pro for quite a while and should have won a bracelet a year, not this last WSOP, but the one before. And then the other guy is he's technically not a full-time pro, but he's basically a pro and he's very good. He's been around for like forever and has been playing the mid stakes like forever and like he's just really smart and good. But the main thing is that they have a lot of history together and they for whatever reason, they're always just trying to kick each other's asses in the hand. Like I've seen some nuts, wacko shit between them, like pre-flop going all in with pocket nines, and I don't know, like for like heaps, and they just want to beat each other. I don't know what it is. I love watching it because not only do I know them pretty well, and like I play with them like every day or every weekend. Uh, it's just fun. They're always this is like huge meta game going on, and that's a huge deal in this hand. So the flop comes 6-6-5, and it gets checked to the main guy with 10-8, and he bets 75 into 200. Now this is where I think the hand starts the ridiculous bullshit. Okay, if you're watching this, this is a psycho bet. Okay, the rest of the hand I can get on board with, but like this is kind of nonsense. I'll show the hand. It's eight of clubs. Ten. I actually didn't know the suits, so if I kind of winged it, these kind of make sense, I guess. But like this is just kind of nonsense. Like, yeah, you're blocking a straight with the eight. Small blind calls. You're blocking a straight with the eight, and you're blocking like some combos, 7-8, but like you you want him to call with like 7-8. The thing is, like 6-8 could easily be in the range. This is the problem. Okay, they have 100% range, so This is why I tell people not to bluff in bomb pots that often. And that could become a meta game like oh, no one bluffing in bomb pots, I should bluff at bomb pots. I think winning a bomb pot is negligible to your like overall win rate. You're gonna play just a couple a week, if that, maybe a month, a couple. And like if you just fold out your equity, I know like you're going uh 8 ways with usually like a 4x raise, or it's usually like a 2x raise. So you are giving up like some EV, but like this, in my opinion, this $75 bet is just torching the 75 because in theory, like if you're gonna construct a normal range and you put in hands like 6 5, like the common hands that have a 6 in it, which would be like ace 6 suited at low frequency, 6 5, which is a full house, pocket sixes, which is quads, 6 7 suited, some combos of 6 7 off if the construction is wide or the configurations are wide, and like 6 4, and I mean that's kind of it. But the thing is, this is 100. We're talking about 100% range on the flop because it's a bomb pot, and when this happens, blockers, although always important in poker, they don't how do I say this? They just don't matter that much. Like it's either he has a six, like he's calling with any six here, six deuce, six king, six jack. I mean, he might call with a five. Yeah, there's a lot of straight draws, but you block one combo of straight draws, or a couple combos, I guess, of straight draws with the eight of. I have the eight of clubs, but it might have been the eight of spades. It kind of doesn't matter. The suits don't really matter. Um, you block so much that I mean, I'm sorry, you do block a decent amount, but it doesn't matter because they have 100% range, and this is where I just don't agree with this bet. I think the intention was right, and this is a player who uses metagame and table dynamics to his strength very much, and is like the best part about his game, and like part of why he's actually really good is like no one bluffs in this spot, and he's bluffing, so he's gonna get a lot of folds, but it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not profitable enough to bluff here. You just take a free turn card. And I guess like you could let someone else bluff, but I'm just not on board with the bluff. Anyways, small blind calls, and this is the rival that he always tries to beat in every freaking hand. And kind of like a non sequitur card comes with the Jack of Spades. I think it was the offsuit. Might have brought in a flush draw, but I highly doubt it. I just remember the turn being a jack and like no one cared about the suit. And it goes check check as like I guess it should. I mean, if you probably run this in a solver, like you are probably checking range if like we get here in like a configuration that's realistic. You probably are checking range or maybe like block betting like small, and because like I don't know. It's just it's really hard to talk about this hand because it's a bomb pot, and people are always like, Nick, you're such a nit. Like bomb pots, they're just for fun. But like if you want to be a profitable player, you want to play in a game where like strategy actually helps, and that's why it's like it's just really hard to play this spot. It goes check check, which it's fine. I guess I could get on board with. But if you have 10-8, like why don't you just bluff the jack? I don't know. You don't think going three streets is good enough, or like you're gonna check range, which is probably the best play in general. But I guess like both don't really matter, and I would actually check in real life. But um, again, like this being a bump pot, it's kind of hard to like figure this out. And like the deuce of diamonds hits the river, and it's kind of a blank. I mean, 3-4, get there, I guess. Um, you really gonna like stick around with 3-4 on the flop on a pair board, getting the bottom end of the straight? Uh, I don't know. Maybe suited if there was like a flush draw, but I'm fairly certain there was no flush draw on this board, so I just put it like that. Um, and Small blind leads for 250. What was it, into 350 ish? And after some deliberation, he definitely tanked for a bit. He called, and uh, sorry about that. And he wins with 10 high. Um, so we could talk about this hand even more, but I think we're just kind of beating a dead horse here. Um, 10 high beats all of his missed straight draws. Simple as that. He's never bluffing with he's never betting here with ace high, king high. Um, there's like no really bluffs with queen high, and you're never getting there with a jack. You're not supposed to be getting there with a jack. Um, you don't have any deuces unless it's a boat, which, the whole point of this call is to bluff question that it's polarized, and if he has a boat, so be it. Um, the deuce kind of doesn't change anything. So if you think you're good on the flop, which was a bluff, you check back your, I guess, range on the turn, and then you think you're good on the river, you you just call. I mean, he has all the straight draw. Like 7-8's like actually really heavy in his range if you do think about it. But doesn't he have like a weak six like very often? Yeah, I mean that's how it should be. Um, and like the river call, like we were kind of talking about this, like this is actually fine. Like this part of the hand, this and the turn, like I said, like this is like these two streets are fine. Like you are bluff catching with against his hands like 7-8 and like 3-4 and I don't know 4-7. Um, you are beating those. The problem is, I mean, you do block. I do like a better hand that doesn't have an eight. You just like don't want an eight. Really, you want to have all his combos in range, especially when he bets like 2/3 or 3/4 or whatever it was, like 3/4. You kind of want all of his in range. So like, I really like this call, and it was nasty. I mean, you showing he showed 10 high in a $850 pot. I mean, and you win. That's just sick. I love it. I love the river call. I love it. I like the turn check. I just am unsure about the flop bet. You have to remember they weren't heads up on the flop. They were eight ways, so seven other guys. It's risky. You gotta have balls to play this game, and I do think this is like it's extremely hard to call down with 10 high, especially when you have an kicker, eight blocker, whatever you want to call it, because just in general, it's hard to fathom like, oh, like is he gonna just like have a random queen? Is he gonna have a random ace? But you can discount those. They're like they just don't make sense to have in his hand. So a lot of people like look at 10 high and are like, I have to fold. But like, isn't his range mainly 7-8 3-4? I'm sorry, 3-4 is a straight, but maybe like 4-7, 8-4. I don't know. Like those hands are in his range all the time, and when you get here, 10 high is just like good. And it was a sick, nasty call. It was the best hero call we've ever seen at the Jack. Everyone was talking about it, but I do want to caveat it, and I don't want to take it anyway because like, dude, this was like insanely hard to do. I wouldn't have played this hand like this at all, and I would just lost. And I don't. I would have 850 less dollars, but I just think the flop bet is nonsense, and I don't want to take away from how good the rest of the hand was played, but um, if you're gonna make a bluff like that on the flop on this type of board, you have to be strapped in and ready to make some nasty hero calls on the river. So that's the hand. This was the uh, hero call heard around the casino. So any comments, like anything you guys think about this hand, let me know, because it was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, it was sick. I can't discount that. Thank you guys. Please like this video. See you in the next one.